Good morning, traders. It's Perry Wilkie with StartupTrading.com. It is Thursday, March 27th, about 9 minutes till 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Looking at the news flow for today, if you will, we already had our 8:30 print. We got a little bit of news at 10, natty gas at 10:30, senior credit officer opinion survey at 2 o'clock. And then that's really it for the day. If you're still in something at 4:30 to 5 o'clock, you really shouldn't be, but there's going to be a Fed head talking then. Tomorrow is going to be probably the biggest news event of the week, and it's, 2.5, 3 star red event. Core PCE is tomorrow at 8:30. You should be flat ahead of that. And to be honest with you, if you were this whole week there wasn't really any scheduled news that you needed to be flat ahead of. But don't let that uh, come back and bite you in the ass tomorrow morning, because it could be a little shake and bake before it settles out. Um, so looking at the price action yesterday and, and where we're at, so the Qs traded between 484 and basically 492.50 was the range for the Qs. Looking at the cash market, the SPX, you're looking at basically 56.90 ish, up to uh, 57, 83 or so, maybe 85, right around in that area. And for the SPX, you were looking at basically uh, 5 6 567 up to basically just a little bit over 576. So, about an $8.50, $9 range there. Looking at what that did to structure, right? We had that down. So, just as the previous day, I was looking at an area, not to be long underneath, or you just caution for longs or sit on your hands or whatever. So today we have some markers to the upside. We might not get there, but if we do, you really want to be cautious shorting above 21,114 for the Russell, um, 20,356 for the Nasdaq, um, 58.17 for the ES, and the Dow did not have that same marker. So the Dow has two splits, so it really was divided into three auctions yesterday. Basically, a little bit above 42,900, and then from 42,900 basically to 42,800, and then from 42,800 and below. And then we have some single prints here uh, that are, right around the 155, 20,155 for the NASDAQ, then 225 for the NASDAQ. And so the NASDAQ was basically split up into four auctions. Uh, so you have basically this XS&A, you have this between the XS and A and the top single print, you have the between the two single prints and below the single prints. Think of those as little mini auctions, and as you're in them, you could just trade. Think of them as, if it helps you out, think of them as zones. You could just kind of ramble around in a zone, uh, and then you should really not be looking for targets, or not that they can't hit, but you should not expect them to hit when you're in one zone. Whether you're long or short, you should not be looking for the majority of your targets outside of the zone that you're in or the auction that you're in. Runners, yes. The majority of your position, no. Uh, and then you've got very similar for the ES. You got a split just above 57.70 here. We'll get the exact number here for you in a little bit. Then you have the split the single prints, excuse me, just a little bit below 57.90 is where they are. So looking at positioning real quick, 5,600 in the cash is really your marker. But remember, on extreme weakness, and I said this yesterday, Monday is a pretty good expiration. uh, 55.65 is, really the ultimate target for the bears below, and they would like to not only hit this target, they would like to accelerate below that target between now and Monday's close. However, not being able to get there or under it as you move away from it, right? It puts a little bit of a bid on the market, so that can be a magnet. It can be an oscillation range, and it could be, think about, just repelling. It's a major support resistance area. And then, unlike, most support resistance areas, this one has power. The closer you get to it to push it away, uh, and when you get under it, the same thing. It can attract back to it, or it can repel it. So it's going to be a very strong thing going into the Monday. The cash market closed at 57.12. So basically, you would have to go down about 50, 60 points to hit this from where we closed on the cash market. The cash market's down 6, so maybe right around 50 ES handles down below would be where this is. So keep that in mind today, and don't be screwing around. As we hit that or don't. Uh, it's just that's positioning for you. Looking at the SPY, there's really not a huge marker that I want to draw any attention to at this point in time. And for the Qs, 490 for today has the largest amount of gamma, and then 496. We're currently trading 483.40. So we are, right around here. So you can see that you got basically 480 to 485, and then you're just basically looking at 200-point jumps. And I would say basically below 485, you're in decent negative gamma. Around 480 to 490, you kind of transition out of it, and above 490, and not saying that we're printing that today, but above 490, you're creeping into positive gamma at this point in time for the Qs. Um, Looking at where we're at and this, so we finally took out that one of the untested points of control. The only uh, since we've rolled over, right, we have yesterday's point of control at 57.59 quarter, and we have the point of control that goes back to Friday, March 21st at 57 or 56.72. So those are your two markers for this contract. Then we have, one left that was still from the March contract all the way down at 55.27.5, and then up to 57.81, all the way up to 61.63. So in a perfect world, uh, you would come back down here and probably take out 57.27 half, and then you would take out these two points of control basically at 52.05 and 53.06, and then go back on your merry way up. But we don't live in a perfect world, so we'll just have to watch this as it plays out. Um, we definitely ended one time frame. So the title of my video is one and done, meaning, uh, do we get follow through today? I think it would take a lot, and I'm not looking for it to happen to uh, take out yesterday's high. Uh, the VIX would really have to be dropping, and we're heading into the weekend. We got a major print tomorrow with inflation, so I don't really think that's too much on the table. But keep in mind, since tomorrow morning is the volatility event, little mini pullbacks could be any drop could be sold, right? Any spike in the VIX until tomorrow morning could be sold. So, which is going to put a little bit of a bid on the market for today. So, I would like us to get maybe to the halfway back, and Jack's got a great indicator showing you where yesterday's halfway back was. You can figure it out yourself, but it's nice to have the computer drop for you. That's his day frame indicator, and then we'll see if we can get to that. that I would think that there's a large possibility that we stay in the lower half of yesterday's distribution for today, but you know, stranger things have been known to happen. And of course, really what you want to mark and draw a line on is the low from Monday. That should be really where you got some sellers up there, and if you get up to there, and for the ES, you're looking at 58.09 half. So that'd only be about 60 points above where we're currently trading. I would think on a first test, getting up to that area is something that you want to just start sitting on your hands and for a little bit, maybe 55, 65 minutes, and see what happens after that. Give it some time to digest what it wants to do up there. It should be a decision point. Looking at our just one time framing status at our pivots. So basically, we're in balance now between 20,510, which is the high of Monday, to basically, I'm not taking it all the way down to low. I'm looking at 19,607 is what we could still, get to on the downside. Uh, and then the same with the ES. We have 10 days of balance down here, so I don't think we can just drop down there in a straight line. I would think that there's going to be, and what we'll see is when we start getting retracements that go higher, right? How many of these bears that are trapped down here want to, get? We could end up in a downtrend channel from here that could just be choppy until we get to the upper third or the midpoint of this distribution. I'm not marking that off at this point in time, but let's just know that that can happen. So yesterday's low and the midpoint of yesterday is really where I'm expecting the majority of this action to be today, and we'll just have to see uh, if that isn't so going to happen for both of these indexes. Overnight action, 43 points basically for the ES. And if we look at all the indexes, right, we're basically in the value area low zone for the NASDAQ, the ES, uh, the Russell is in the middle of value, and the Dow is trying to join the party, get into that value area low zone, but it hasn't got there yet. And you can see those splits in the auction there. So I hope this helps. Keep in mind, remember, you got 4 different auctions for the NASDAQ yesterday, and for each one of those, that is a zone. So you can obviously go down to the overnight low from the single print style, um, and you can do that to this for the same with the ES. And I would actually say that 57.25 has been a pivotal point for the ES on since we rolled over, and actually before we rolled over. Uh, that's really where things start getting out of hand. And keep in mind, you gotta. I said this like 2 weeks ago. You gotta put 55.65 on your SPX, not your ES, SPX, 55.65. That's your bogey line for things getting out of control or staying in control. We'll see if we get a test of that between now and Monday or not. Have a great day. We'll see what Jack's looking at, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.